Let me just quickly have a
Yeah.
look at my calendar. It's there, hey? And that'll be for the summative, right? And we'll do a follow-up one again, like we are doing now. You understand, so that you are, well prepped and again ready. And yeah, it's going all well, right? Okay, just a bit of a catch up. Just tell me what's going on. Because does tell me how things going, like from a
So far so good. I just
yeah.
got a few. Obviously, I'm not so sure that we are starting into the
Mm,
to the assignment. There's just a few questions, of course, regard the what is that thing? The audio I sent you.
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we're gonna look at that now as well.
Yes.
Uh,
And
so
then with
yeah,
regard to the podcast recording. Now let me
yeah,
get this right. We we're not gonna make it fancy, right? In term for now, in terms of having intro music, not yet. It's just a matter of just recording as you would talk for the
ideally, yeah,
podcast. Those 4 minutes you said we should do.
yeah, yeah. So, so
Okay.
do you know how to edit? I mean, simply, do you know how to use an editing like software, sound editing software?
No, not yet, not
Mm.
yet. But I looked at. I think there was something about Garage Band. I
Yeah,
looked at that, and my phone also can edit. Like you said, the clip that I send you,
yeah.
I can record and go back to a certain second and delete that part and wipe it again and
Okay.
edit. It seems as if you can do it from the phone here as
Yeah,
well.
you can. I mean, if you have that, like for me, obviously, it's a little. I find it a little bit. It, I'd rather see it on a big screen. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes,
Like,
yes, yes.
yeah, but I'll edit video on my phone because it's just easier. I'm saying for
Yes.
social media stuff.
Uh,
But when it has to a video can I do edit on my PC only when there's man, like I just need to do some proper editing on the sound, and the sound must be included in, like some kind of imaging or whatever. Then I'll rather just do it on my PC because I just have control. It's about control. But
correct.
for the social media stuff, I'll record that on CapCut. Well, I'll record it, then I'll go edit on CapCut and just add the stuff
Mhm.
there. Because it's like I say, I'm a very big, obviously clearly, like an ambassador for the program,
Yes.
because it really does. The app, it does everything so easily in comparison to
Mhm.
so many others that I've tried, without watermarks, without like all the rubbish that's forced on you by other apps, and then you have to go re-edit so you can take out watermarks and kind of like also like a recrop and all that rubbish, stuff that
Yeah.
that's why I'm quite happy with that one. I always recommend that because I know that it works really well. Okay. All right. So let's get to. I know Katlego also sent me. That's what I'm saying to you. So let's do your audio, and I'm going to play it here by the phone. So I'm sorry,
Mhm.
by the PC. You'll be able to hear. Here we go. Should we
Yeah.
just, yeah. Okay. Breaking news. 6 people were arrested for the murder of Kaizer Chief defender Luke Flores. In the early hours of Wednesday morning, 6 suspects were arrested in Soweto for the careful. So when you do execute, don't swallow your words, right? You can hear that, eh?
Ah,
Okay.
okay.
So you're swallowing a lot of the beginning words, like in a sentence. Remember, they're there for a reason, right? And don't
Okay.
rush too much. So your pace is okay, but it's a little too fast, only
Faster.
because you're swallowing the words. You understand? Even
Oh.
if you have to gravitate right to the extreme, so make it really slow, like on here. Use this scenario. A South African paddle player, Susan Becker, has qualified to play at the very first Paddle World Championships. Now, it's obviously, it
Uh,
sounds ludicrous. You will not do it like that, but you can control pace backwards. You understand, back to front,
yeah.
because then I can say, okay, like I'm going to practice that. I can see that my mouth right now is a bit, it's not open enough. It's a bit slurry. Like I've got to go make sure that so I've got my bottle of water here to clear it up, make sure that you understand. But and if there are any words that I'm struggling with, right? Pronunciation,
Yes.
enunciation, but also just getting through it. I get that that is pronunciation, but kind of processing and delivering. Then I can monitor that. And when I go to my copy, so the obviously the written document, I can go and make I can physically make markings of things that I need to be alert of, so that when I do my execution, I need to be able to put, let's say, emphasis on this word, need to make
Yeah.
sure that this is spelt out like an acronym or whatever it is, needs to be
Mm-hmm.
also, explained or whatever it is. You can't, okay, like for example, we say ANC, right? Because we know what the ANC stands for, we hardly ever hear the African National Congress, you understand?
Yes.
But for every other, I'm saying pretty much every other acronym that you're going to find, you're going to have to say, let's say the full, obviously the full like phrase, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
say, and then the SABC, and then you can use, let's say, just as a sidebar, as part of the news thing. Then you can use the acronym later. Okay, but anyway, continuing with this. Matter of Kaiser Chiefs defender Luke Fleurs. The 24-year-old defender was driving a VW Golf 8 GTI when he was shot dead. So the 24-year-old, not A, because that's what I heard. I heard a 24-year-old. Is it A or the?
Is there. Is there.
Okay, so it's just a little bit more clearer pronunciation.
Yeah. It's
Okay, so that I can
the 20 is
the
the
20.
24-year-old. The
Okay,
24-year-old.
all right, hold
Yeah.
on then.
Okay.
So that needs to be restructured on the 3rd of April, right? So give a rather date, then say the rest of it, so that it just makes, because the 3rd of April seems like a separate sentence. Rather start with that maybe, and then do the
Okay.
rest of that particular sentence.
So thank you very much. This is a massive Kaiser Chiefs story. Luke Fleurs was just signed up with Kaiser Chiefs when he died. The provincial police spokesperson, Colonel Mavela Masondo, said, whilst he was waiting to be saved by the petrol attendant, he was confronted by two armed males who came driving a white BMW 1 Series. These suspects pointed him with a firearm and took him out of his car, then shot him once on the upper body. The one suspect drove off with the victim's car, followed by the accomplice.
All right. If I may just ask, did they mention anything about his car?
The car was recovered. It was recovered on a Monday, but it was unfortunately stripped. The police then further said these 6 suspects are also suspected of being part of the hijacking syndicate in Gauteng.
Thank you so much, Sbongile. They're expected then to make their first appearance at the Roodepoort Magistrate Court on a Friday. They face charges of murder and
On Friday, the what? It's interesting that you must give a date. You must say this Friday, next Friday, whatever it is. It's interesting that you did it in this way. It kind of goes against the brief, just as a. I just want to make sure.
Okay.
Look, I
Yeah.
like
Let
what
me
I
tell you what
do.
the brief says.
Yeah,
The brief.
it's yeah. Here it
Okay, you
is.
can say it. Okay, sure. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Record yourself presenting this news story, right?
Yeah.
So where did you interpret that as being able to do like a quote unquote breaking? Because this is very TV like, very, you understand, very either breaking newsy, like
Okay.
very
Let,
talk radio, but but not, we don't even hear this. I'm saying in the news bulletins, that kind of like breaking through, segueing over to a person that's live in studio. Why did you decide to go this
okay.
this
Let
way?
me let me take you to question 1.3. Right.
Okay,
Question 1.2 said use the inverted pyramid of the news writing this story, rewrite this online story as a
right.
radio news mark.
Yes.
Marks 15 marks. Now, if you go to slide number 6, right?
Okay.
Slide number 6 talks about, let me just see here. It's about broadcasting. right where news and broadcasting unit 3, I think, yeah, lesson 1. So if you go there and you look at what makes story newsworthy, and then you've got an inverted pyramid,
Yes.
there's something that is interesting that you probably would have, maybe you're not aware. On that story of a senior scholar at the
Yes.
Newark Valley,
Yes.
there
There
was
was
an
there's a,
insert of a fox there. You
yes,
see.
that's right. A
So
Vox.
yeah,
Yeah.
Fox. So what? Okay, in this case, there are two ways on which to broadcast a news story. I'll tell you just now. Here we go. There are a number of different ways to put a news story on air.
Mm,
You can either be live from the scene or live from the studio, two way from the studio, two way from the location, pre-recorded
right.
at location, pre-recorded in studio.
Right.
This is a radio story. Now, if you listen to the likes of 702 and so on, they would
Yes.
have
Yes,
the,
they would.
the
Mm,
journalist with them on studio,
yes.
exactly like the way that I did it.
Yeah. That's
So
what I'm saying to you. It's a different. That's what I'm saying to you. What were you going for? Because but the thing is, again, as I said, what you will just before, just as a just a bit of a just put a pin in that just for a second. When you look
yeah,
at 702 and we do look at the bulletins, right? Tell me, you see, that's what I'm saying. Contextually, why
yes,
would they have the person on air? I'm saying to the field reporter, right? The one that's covering the story. Sorry.
yeah,
They would have
the,
them on there for an
yes,
update. Agree? They'll
yeah,
be like,
correct.
look, this is a
They
long
would
running, yeah,
yes,
long running
they would
story.
have him there because that person, let's just say maybe they have been onto the
Yes,
field, then they came back on studio, and
exactly.
they are giving a sort of a feedback,
Right,
right?
exactly. Right.
Yes,
So, and did you find that within the bulletin? Because be
yes,
careful.
it would be within the bulletin, and then they would continue with the story and go as further and says further afield. They would have this person right in the middle of the news bulletin, and then
But
they would talk for a few seconds, and then they'll say thank you, and then they say further afield, blah 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 blah, and the news package just continues as one.
okay, my thing is, I
Yes,
get, yeah. I mean, I again, it's not unheard of. As I said,
yeah,
I like this type of, I like this type of immersive, broadcasting, right? And it
yes,
again, it only makes sense on talk radio. It doesn't make sense anywhere else, like on music radio, right?
mm,
We
mm.
have to, and the thing is, again, we either have, again, we said we have a field reporter that is covering the long running story, right? Ideally,
Yes,
that's why they're coming in for updates. That's why they are giving them whatever it is, and predominantly will have an extended vox. You understand, a
hmm,
sound bite that the journalist will submit, so that obviously the anchor can play out. Do you understand? So that I'm saying that's what predominantly happens, and you know that as well, right?
yes,
Um,
yes. I do know that one. Yeah, they
so
would have
this
the
is
clip
kind of
in the
a,
middle of the bulletin.
yeah.
Yes.
No, look, this is the approach you've taken is almost like a little bit of a, it's not an expose, but you understand
Hmm.
we're elevating, we're pivoting a little bit beyond. That's what I'm saying. I don't mind it. I just, I for the sake of the
The brief.
rubric, let
Hmm.
us check how it's being marked, because that's
Yeah.
really important. If it has to be you, then it has to be you. Do you understand? And you can include, let's say, is it, so this is a sports story here? So you're more than welcome to include a sound bite of this lady here.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying, to in the story. But let's quickly, so the news story, again, factually accurate. Let's look at the most of it, right? All information relevant, up to date. The story follows the inverted pyramid. Sure,
Yes.
exceptionally well structured. Sure, with a clear headline, lead, body, and conclusion.
Hmm.
Information is presented logically and concisely. Then the language obviously is one that's I mean, it's free of jargon. Like it's colloquial, right?
Yes.
Uh, Okay. And then and so I'm saying to you, it doesn't, oh, okay. I would have to ask Grant, and I will. I'll ask him. I'll say, is he, are they allowed to do, like I say, it's so I'm going to call it, it's an embedded a field reporter update. That's what I'm going to
Yes.
say.
Yes.
And then you've done it quite well. My only issue is, even though you have written it, she speaks more. You understand? And you seem, so let me credit for as it is right now. You
Yeah.
seem out of the loop as if it is breaking news. You understand? So
Yes.
breaking news, the journalist normally doesn't know much. They only know very little. And ideally, the field
Yes.
reporter would fill in the blanks. You understand?
Yes.
But for me, when you did ask there at the end there, like for example, it was very broad, it was very umbrella, and it sounded like you didn't know much about the story. And she filled in a lot of, I'm saying she was prominent in that, which that's what I don't like. You understand? Just in terms
Can
of
I can I
this.
can I ask you this question?
Yeah,
Remember now, I'm sitting in the studio, and here's a field reporter who has been to the
sure.
scene where the
I'm with,
police.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So
But
so
you
by
would dominate if you did the whole bulletin. In this particular case, she
yes,
is dominating. So
yes.
you're not really showcasing what the formative is trying to we're trying to test here, which is reading a full bulletin. If you can dominate and
Oh,
say, if you can just dominate a little bit more of that. So I like the way that she did. Look, you pretty much use that entire article. That's also what I have a problem with as well, is that rewriting for radio needs to be like it has to be completely reparaphrased and shortened, right? Because she filled in a lot of the stuff that actually a news article, I'm saying to like a print article would cover. Do you understand? And did cover. Whereas we need to be a little bit again with the brevity. We need to be important. It needs to be important there. So ways to make it shorter, right? I'm saying to dominate one and to make it a little bit shorter in total is one, provide a lot of context to what she's going to either extend on or affirm. Does that make sense, right?
yeah. Let me let,
Like,
me- let, me- let me ask you this way. I think I understand where you're going.
mm,
Look, it's easy for me to okay,
to
but no,
read,
what? Let's say not
sure.
easy. Well, there were two options that I had.
Yeah,
I could not have put it in the instead. I could have quoted the kernel as I
yes,
would be reading myself the
right.
news. Right
Yeah,
now, in that sense, I get the impression that that's the way you would prefer it. You would want me to
I,
read more and
yes.
even quote. In fact, that insert vox then it would be a quotation
Well, you
from.
would, while you have her there, you might as well actually edit her stuff into it as a soundbite, 18 seconds max. Like, no, well, again, I would allow it to about 25 seconds, but
Yeah,
nothing further. Do you
yeah.
understand? If you're
Put
going,
it this way. I want you
mm,
to look at how you redid the Newark story. On the
yeah,
Newark story,
yeah,
let's read how you summarize that
sure,
all those paragraphs.
yes,
You inserted there a vox of it's quite nice, a nice
yes,
evening for parents and teachers and you to get together. Now, when you were doing the lecture on it,
yeah,
all you did was just to read through that part,
yes,
right?
right. And ideally, you would have the principal, saying
Now,
that.
there we go.
Yeah,
Now I like what you just said because the way that you put when you said insect, you would have the principal there. So
exactly.
my approach
Yeah,
was to say I would read, call it the intro. Or in this case, I see you disagree with that. I would put the intro just to say, and then I would insert my vox there, which would
yeah,
she would be now here talking like that. But because she's in studio,
yeah.
I
No, no.
allowed her the
Completely
opportunity to,
fine.
yeah,
I'm telling you, I like what you did here, and I'm not trying to be
yes,
nice to you. I really
yes,
like this because it's a fresher way of doing this, and I expected you to do it, obviously, just written as I've said to you, five
mm,
sentences, be done with it,
fantastic.
make sure
All
that's done,
right,
right?
I'll
I
do it.
just my only thing is when you listen to her, right? Her predominant amount of what she adds in there is unnecessary
I
information.
got you.
Do you
Okay,
understand? So she
I hear
talks
you.
about the
Yes,
color of the car and this or whatever it is. And no one cares. Do you understand? Because the car already was found. And if you look at it from that perspective, what is important? We need to know that the car was obviously taken and it was ripped for parts or whatever it is, and this is where it was found. And so let's say, because it's not also quite clear, it's not in your story. In the story, I can't remember how they actually caught these people, right? So that's really important to showcase, like, where did they get hold of them? Was it in the chop shop? Was it a bit later? Was it because, so that's that. Let her tell you that part, the stuff that you as a presenter, as an anchor, wouldn't know. Do you understand? But you must have control. You must be dominant in this. Do you understand?
Okay. All right.
Does that
Okay.
make a
Thank
little
you for
bit
that
more sense?
feedback.
Is that
Yeah.
okay? Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Absolutely. So it's all good, and
Yeah.
it's good. All right. I'll just re-edit and do it. You know how
Yeah.
it is. There's so many ways to write the story. So yeah,
No, no,
I
no,
think I
no, no.
got your point.
I agree, but the fundamental is, like I say, top to bottom. Do you understand? What so if you want to adhere to the rubric, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to, like I say, re-emphasize. Make sure that what she adds is less important than what you said in the
I
beginning.
got you.
Does that make sense?
I see. All
Okay.
right, I've got you there.
Okay.
Fantastic. Okay.
I'm glad.
Thank you so
Uh,
much. I'm happy with this feedback. I
all
appreciate
right.
it.
Glad. We'll come back to you in a second. It's because I know Katleko. So Katleko sent me her story, and I'm going to read it out. It's this in terms of privacy. I mean, I know that you're not going to copy or whatever it is.
No.
So
We're too unique, yes.
yeah, okay. So, but let's read it out. Katleko, are you fine? Can I read it out? So just there's no audio on your side. I don't know why. Katleko, can you give me a thumbs up? Is that fine? Still can't hear you. I
Yeah,
know you're trying.
I can hear you too. Okay.
Uh, okay. What I'm just going to do for the moment, just give me a
Yes.
second, is I'm just actually going to phone. Katleko, I'm phoning you now. I don't know if you're on your phone, just so I can hear what you're going to say. Uh, okay. Katleko, you're there. What's going on? Oh, the feedback is there. I can't hear you online.
Neither can I hear online this side.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. While you are trying, no, that's a very good feedback.
She's on the side. She's on the phone. Christos, just give me a second. So so what I'm going to do, Kateko, is I'm going to give you feedback on the story. Is that okay? Is that okay? All right. Just text me if there's, yeah.
So can I send you? I did a recording earlier today.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Sure. Okay. Send it through. Okay. I'm going to close the phone so we don't get the reverb. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. All right, just Kotleko, if you can hear me on Teams, so I know you can. Maybe also, okay, so you're gonna send that audio now, but maybe try and rejoin as the meeting. It might make a difference because I know that you could. We just heard both you and me on your side, so I don't know. Okay, what I'm gonna do is so as you do send the recording, I'm going to read out the story. Because Kasaz can also
Yeah.
just he can learn from it as well. Okay. So it's the podcast. Okay. Are you yeah, so I'm gonna go through it. Okay, it's fine. I know Christos you will not copy or you not think, right?
No.
But
Mine is way different. It's already been prepared actually.
okay,
So no, I
awesome.
wouldn't use Resto. Resto is probably very different to mine.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So let's I see that there is the recording. So what's this 54 seconds? Can you see me a second?
Susan Becker.
Okay, cool. That's for the sports story. Okay, so let's quickly just have a look at the copy for the podcast. You said there, oh, she's gone now. Okay, maybe she'll just join in now. All right, let's revert back to you because otherwise going through it is not going to make any sense. Okay, so you said, okay, let's see what happens. Yeah. Okay, let's give quickly a second.
Yeah.
Nothing. Hello. Say something. Nothing. Still not. That's so odd. That's so weird. You know what? You know what I think might be happening, Katlego, is that when you do look at your, for example, if you just go to settings, right, like the audio settings, yeah, it'll show you which mic you're using. So I don't know if you can see. Can you see my settings, Costas? Like, yeah, that I've opened it up. Can you see my settings? Me working with it? No. Yes. No. Costas? Yeah.
Yo,
From your side, can you see me working on my settings? Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I can
Okay.
see you sending
Okay.
a sharp. I think.
Okay. I'm just saying, so it's you see, it's a microphone. I think this is the problem here, that you need to select the right microphone because there's just nothing coming out. Okay. Let's do some feedback for you.
Yeah.
And okay, let's go through the podcast first. So a 13-year-old died by suicide after endless taunting on social media. So, hey everyone, welcome to Boston Media House Podcasts, right? Or welcome to the Boston Media Podcast, where we talk all things lifestyle, gossip, and entertainment. I want you to, I want you to revise where we say we talk all things. It's very kind of cliche, and it's just take some notes then, Katleko, okay? As I'm giving you some feedback. Say that, just say we talk about lifestyle, we talk about gossip, we talk about entertainment, and right in the middle of that, I'm your host, Katleko Morfome, right? And and then you stop there. In this episode, we're going to talk about how cyberbullying is a grave concern that can result in can result to severe consequences in severe, or that needs to be reworded. Doesn't sound correct. So can result in severe consequences, and how to deal. And we'll also talk about how to deal with cyberbullying. So it just needs a little, like, it needs some tweaking in terms of when you do read it out, it needs to sound very natural, even though it is scripted. Say as you speak, execute as you would speak. All right. So remember, like, we want so that hook there, you said that 13-year-old died by suicide after endless taunting on social media. Uh, sorry, I'm just getting a message there. Welcome to this episode of Boston, and I think you got to give it a better name. So I don't want you to say Boston Media House Podcast. Give it your own like snappy title of your own podcast, right? Um, uh, okay. All right. So I hope you got that feedback there. Let's go there. Through social media, people are able to engage with one another, collaborate, share ideas, thoughts, and information anonymously, which makes it easier for people to comment negatively about others. I don't mind that at all. So it's a good segue between what you did say, and now we're going to get into, like, I'm saying, to the meat, right? Mainly, individuals project their own insecurities or emotions onto others by making negative comments, with the belief that they are taking away the attention from their flaws. Okay, so what now this is going to apply everywhere, because I can see that it's going to happen throughout the scripting here. Be careful of making it too formal. Okay, so it's nicely, I'm saying it's nicely worded, but when you're going to execute something like in this, I'm saying according to a script like this, it's going to sound very clinical and quite robotic. You would either maybe try to re-paraphrase something that is like it's a pattern that you saw on a TikTok, I'm saying TikTok video, or you saw in a survey, or you went and researched on this and this, to give this so you have to give this credibility. Your podcast must be, you must give yourself and your podcast some kind of credibility, especially in the short time that you do have. Okay, so when you are, I mean, you're now starting to. I'm going to be at a lack of a better term. It's starting to sound a little bit boring already. Okay, because this statement here, this many individuals project their own insecurities, is something that we do already know. So I would completely rewrite that particular sentence. Let's go on to the next thing. Unfortunately, this unkind act has resulted to the tragic suicide of Haley Lambert, a 13-year-old who faced bullying both in person and online due to her epilepsy. So this is cool. I like it. Right. The constant taunting. I just I think you would use, there's a better word for taunting, right? So the constant bullying, the constant, you know what I'm saying to you, use other emotional words of within your like I say, within your language here to really connect with that listener and explain like so what did her parents, who told you this story, where did you see it, right? Here come the parents now as well, right? Okay, the constant taunting and distressing voicemails expressing that she must take her own life resulted to her suicide. Good. Thank you for the thumbs up. I'm glad that it's just coming through. All right. So let's go through the next one. Haley's parents, Mary and John Lambert, have reported, to say, or have been reported to say that they are deeply saddened by the tragic suicide of their daughter, but at least they know that she's in a better place. That's a little bit cold. Okay. So right here, I would rather place maybe a soundbite here just of what the parents' reactions are. Maybe they have, because I think they'd be a little bit more convincing than this particular part of what the podcast you're trying to say, right? So I always say when someone else can say it better than you can, rather have them say it. Okay, not with everything and anything. You're supposed to be obviously the glue between everything. You're the conduit, as I always say in many segments or whatever it is of teaching. But like in this case, I would rather prefer like an 18-second clip from Mary and John Lambert. Okay. How do we deal with cyberbullying? Well, it's advisable to refrain from responding to the hateful comments, or you could take a breather from social media in case you find yourself overwhelmed with negative comments. So that kind of repetitiveness, I need you to take out, okay? Because I'm seeing negative comments so many times throughout this particular podcast script that it makes me feel as though you have nothing else to say, which is not true, right? Okay, so you need to reach out. There's so much more that you can actually say around this. Keep it interesting, keep it personal, because your advantage in a podcast is how unique you can be and how much of yourself you give in this podcast that can make it stand out. Okay, so and allow yourself to reflect on emotions till you feel better and you're able to return to social media. Be pragmatic. Tell me what that's like. Tell me. So sit down tonight when you go, when you go, just before you go to bed, switch everything off, your computer, your phone, like whatever it is, the television, doesn't matter, and sit in complete silence. How comfortable are you with yourself? And just yourself alone, right? Only, right? Say something strong like that. If it feels completely foreign, it's because you've been on, I'm saying, in the public eye all the time, anytime, right? And this is normal. So feel uncomfortable for a little bit. It's going to be better for you in 24 hours time, right? What's it going to look like in 24 hours time? Well, these are the facts. 1, you'll do this. 2, do this. And 3, you'll do this, right? So this is how we close. We close strong, right? And it's practical. Again, it's something I can use. It's something I'm interested in. Okay. You could take advantage of social media features like blocking and reporting when you feel someone is behaving inappropriately. So just say it straight. You know what? Blocking offends nobody. I'm saying that you care about. It's better for you. So use it and block anyone and everyone that makes your experience on social media an unpleasant one. Because that's the whole point of being online and being in a virtual global village, right? Is to have some fun, right? To enjoy it, right? Okay. If you or someone you know is experiencing cyberbullying, is it crucial to seek help from trusted individuals or professional organizations? So I get that that's the question. Um, so put the rephrase the so here's my problem with podcast, and I'm saying I'm saying an interactive podcast is unheard of unless it's live streamed, right? So we know we're listening to someone, we're watching or listening to someone, right? That is live streaming, that we can interact on the go, right? um with where these podcasts are hosted, as I said, I think I've mentioned this before. It doesn't allow for comments specifically uh, on Spotify. I don't think you're allowed. You can't comment on Spotify. You can't comment on iTunes. You can't comment on Iono. You can on SoundCloud, right? So you'd have to then say, if it's hosted on SoundCloud, you can say there's an area just in the bottom where you can add your comments here, and I'll be happy to, obviously, like as always, like communicate with you, create a little bit of a club here, but ideally, if you're hosting on a platform that doesn't have a way for listeners to interact, then you have to end with a rhetorical question. Be like, who can you trust? Right? Who can you trust? That's a rhetorical question. Well, you can trust the people that love, that know you, and that are very honest and direct with you. Ideally, this is your family, 10 to 1, or your very close friends that know you inside out, something like that, right? So before you go question yourself, go go question the people around you or something. That needs to be phrased better, but in a more clever way, please. So something like that is a rhetorical question that makes a statement that makes the listener say, okay, let me think about this, let me move on, and this is food for thought. Does that make sense? A little bit of a thumbs up there. Good. Just want to get a tissue, please. Hold on a second. Okay. Going back. Just blow my nose. Yeah. Hello, winter. Okay. Anyway. All right, great. Then let's listen to this is your sports story. 54 seconds. We said it's a minute, which is good. That's so, and I know you did send it to me, and I did give you the feedback. So let's listen to the execution.
A South African paddle player, Susan Becker, has qualified to play at the very first Paddle World Championship in Spain. Back in 2019, Becker, an ex-tennis player, was involved in a track accident. Due to the crash, Becker suffered severe injuries and resulted to a loss of a limb.
Okay, so a couple of things in semantics, right? One, obviously, you're far too close to the phone. Okay, that's why you hear that that and that's kind of like when you pop and you click or whatever it is, it's going to start uh, uh, not distorting. We can hear it. It's far too close to the phone. So rather record a little bit further away. Know that when you are recording on the phone, you need to clean out, like you must take an earbud just in general, so always take an earbud and go to the part at the bottom of your phone and just clean it out regularly so that you can get a nice, also clean recording wherever you are and you're using your phone. Don't talk directly into the bottom of the phone, because that's where you get the pops and the whatever it is. You actually have to talk to it like you would when you do it on speaker with somebody else, right? So that it can avoid that kind of, like I said, the popping, right? Delivery wise, you need a little bit more energy. Okay, so you don't have to be out of this like completely bouncing off the walls. Please, not that. But you, again, we said with sports, it has to be a little bit more personal. Do you understand? So again, put a little bit of emotion in there, but don't make it sensationalistic, as I've said to you before. Okay, let's keep listening. The copy, like I said, is good.
Becker started practicing paddleball, and on the 22nd of April, Becker will be the first amputee to represent South Africa in the Paddle World Tournament.
Okay, so that's very cool. I like that you made her an amputee, right? It's very cool. It's a nice twist in the story. Your breathing needs work. Okay, so remember, whenever you do take a breath in, you can't make it heard like that. Okay, just breathe in and let it, and then breathe out, right? And so make sure that you do breathe in and breathe out at natural pauses, right? So within obviously the copy, you must actually put a little bit of a like a yeah, how do I do this and how can I show you? If you need a break, you put two you put two stripes. Yeah, I can't do this. I actually have to show you. And I don't know how to show you now. Yeah, let me see here. Let me see if I can do it. Yeah, I don't even know how to use this app properly. My word. Okay, well, I'll have to take a picture. I'll have to do it and then take a picture and share it to the group. But you must be so whenever you're going to take a pause, we actually put in those two stripes between whatever word and whatever word, vertically, right? Okay, not horizontally, so that we push an inflection on that pause, and we take that breath and we breathe out and we continue. It's a half a second of a breath, right? Because it's very, again, natural in out. We mustn't be able to hear, like I say, the very deep breaths. Okay, let's continue here. Just me a second. Play.
Of Sports, Arts and Culture, Zizi Kodwa, wants to prioritize and develop women in sports and stated that he will ensure Becca has all she needs for her trip to Spain. I hope to make my country proud and represent them well, said Becca during her Skype interview with Bulela News.
Okay. Can you also include when? Did you include? Because I want to know the date.
A South African paddle player, Susan Becker, has qualified to play at the very first Paddle World Championship in Spain back in 2019.
Yeah. Okay. So what's just missing from here is a win. So you need at the end, you'll be like the tournament will begin or whatever it is on the first, like on the 21st of May or whatever it may be, right? So we need a win here. And the reparaphrasing of that quote, right, needs some work, right? So you can say Susan had the follow. No, not the following to say. Sorry, what did you? I just want to go back to your.
Kodwa wants to prioritize and develop women in sports and stated that he will ensure Becca has all she needs for her trip to Spain. I hope to make my country proud and represent them well, said Becca during his.
No, she must just say so. In an interview, Susan has, emphasized that she wanted to make the country proud and rather do that. Okay, so that because the quote directly doesn't sound, it doesn't sound right here. I don't rather okay, does that make sense? Okay, good. All right, but otherwise, yeah, so otherwise when you did send the copy to me, I was very happy with it. And yeah, that's right. And then you did and you sent me also the news, which I gave you feedback on that story. So again, just the feedback. So I gave you semantics. Sorry, Christos, you just got to be out of the loop here just for a second. Which petrol station? That second paragraph, too long, split it up. And don't we need info on what's going to happen to the criminals? Okay, good. So I was okay. So I was thorough there. You understood that fine for the feedback on the news bulletin? All good? Good. Okay. If anything, do send me while we're continuing with this. We'll continue, like I said, till about past or so. Any questions that you might have right now, because the WhatsApp obviously here in front of me. Okay, let's move back. Christos. Okay. Tell me how the material is going. Are you finished yet, or is how's that going?
Yeah, I've written the question one here.
Okay.
Now, I wanted to ask you this because while I was doing a research on this, I came across like a true story, like
Okay.
true story, not about Susan Becker, but about the sport itself. So what I
Cool.
did was I added that, and then of course I referenced to where I got it. Are you comfortable with that part, right?
Well, I mean,
So
read it out. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Again, because we said to you, listen, do what you need to with the
yes,
story. Just make sure that once again the inverted pyramid does actually apply to the sports story
yes.
too. That's the
Okay.
thing.
No, no, no. It's fine. Then I'm happy with that. So I haven't done the voice note yet, but I've just done the writing of all these things.
Okay. Do you
I've
want to?
written them, but I haven't recorded them. Now,
Okay.
let me tell you what I also maybe wanted to hear from you. When
Sure.
you get to SoundCloud,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, I know that you want let me see here, the SoundCloud link.
Yes.
Now, when you get to SoundCloud, you would have, let's just say, under my name, there will be how many voice notes? One, two, about 4, 5 voice notes, right?
Yeah.
Let me hear this. So, will it come to you as I would give you access to the actual profile where you could go view these things? So when I
Yes.
give you the link there, I'll
Yeah.
give you with the password on how to log in, right?
No. 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 No.
Yeah. Tell
So
me,
it
how are you
must
going to
be.
access
It
this?
must be a public profile. So as long as your settings are set to public, so that
Mhm.
I can just click on the link that you give me and it'll take me there and I can view it.
Uh,
Yeah, because the only thing is if it's set to private, that's the only difference, right? If you set
okay.
it to private, no one can see it, right? Only
Oh,
you
yeah.
can see it, which I know is so it's obviously so obvious from the state the word private, but a lot of students in many years that I've obviously worked with students
Yeah.
enough have done that and they just get zero because the thing is we don't follow up with you and say, oh,
Mhm.
listen, I'm
Mhm.
marking right now, you have to actually make that public, right? Because
Okay. All right.
yeah,
I see.
just make sure that it is there, and if you want to test it, just ask a friend to click on on a link because you might be logged in already and it might be a little bit confusing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
so just send it to someone else. Can they view it? Can they
Can they
play it?
open it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And then
All
that's
right.
yeah.
No, no, no.
Mm.
That's fine. Well, I'm happy with that. Okay, with regard to the podcasts, in my
Yeah.
case, I've done the research on both of them. So it's just a matter of recording what I've already prepared. So that now let me ask this on those podcasts, do you want the script as well or just the action podcast? Because
No, no,
my
just
goal was to
yeah.
give you the action podcast.
Yes,
Um,
no, just the audio. The audio
okay,
is
just the
fine.
audio. Okay.
It's the others that I require the copy for.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So
All
yeah,
right.
as I said, please, with both of you, it's important to rather make a longer podcast and cut it down, because
Okay.
again, you don't want to limit. If you're thinking about time, right, while you're
Yeah.
recording a podcast, it's gonna immediately sound controlled, robotic, practiced, and
I see.
I'll be able to hear that you're focusing on the time and not on the actual podcast. I'm saying the delivery. So what you do is,
Mm.
like in this case here, do it like record, write and record something that might come out 7 minutes long. Do you understand? And
Oh, and then
cut,
cut it down.
yes, and cut it down, cut the best parts that make sense. And also remember, when you're recording, you might have to do a retake on
That's
something
correct. Yeah.
because
Oh,
because
okay.
this is premeditated. You cannot have mistakes. Does it make
Yeah.
sense? All right.
Hmm.
So we cut out all the mistakes. When it's an interview, no, we some podcasts, as I say, they will say to you in the beginning. They'll say, if let's say, like for example, I've recorded some of my podcasts via Zoom or via Teams, right? And I say there, like the sound quality is lower, obviously, expected to be lower because it is recorded via this particular app and not in person or in studio, right? So that you will disclaim and say, so the people can be like, they'll be tolerant of the quality, and they'll be like, oh, that's fine, that's fine. We always watch things that are on Zoom or this or whatever it is. We don't mind, but it must be, let's say, it must be disclaimed. And so that's one thing. But the thing is that there's a lot of stuff, for example, like let's say if you're doing an interview that's not necessary, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of you getting to a certain point, that person making a lot of statements that's really not important, that to the story or what you're trying to do on the podcast, and you'll cut it down. I always record something around probably about an hour to about an hour 20 minutes, and I would cut, let's say, something like that down to maybe 32 minutes, 28 minutes or so, right? Because there's a lot of unnecessary stuff in there. You're getting to know the person. There's a lot of conversation that you're having quite informally as well. And also because you have the liberty to ad hoc. Does that make sense? Just improv. You normally go off topic quite often and come back to what's necessary. So that's what I'm saying to you. Rather record longer and feel free, like I'm saying, to speak and express yourself and say things in different ways. You understand? So
Yeah.
that you can get, like I say, the best thing. But the edit must be clean. That's the thing. It's very important to note that when you are going from one, like it's like a higher expression or a higher reaction or whatever it is, that the segue to the next piece that you are that we're talking about is natural. So that's very important. I'm going to be looking at that, and I get that in saying that the students always are then responsive by doing it in one take. Does it make sense? Because
Makes
the
sense.
editing is a bit it's a bit intimidating, which is not the right attitude, because you
It is.
must know how to edit, obviously edit. You understand? And
Yeah.
again, you're just not ticking off the correct boxes, like I've just said. Be obviously open, be expressive, be conversational, allow for free conversation, free thought, that type of stuff, right? Um, and in your cases right now, I said to you, you can do anything. You can do anything. You can do an interview. You can do a narrative. You can do commentary. You can do a reaction. It doesn't matter, as long as it sounds good and it is good.
Okay.
At the end of the day.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Okay. All right. Look, I don't have any other further
Sorry.
question.
Yeah. This is, I think. Okay.
Oh,
Left one. Yeah. Good. Yeah. I can hear you.
no, I was saying I don't have further questions now.
Okay. No,
Um,
because
I'm,
those. Sorry, thank you. Sorry, Katleko's is on the line. I'm just going to
oh,
put it here so you can hear. Yeah,
okay.
Katleko?
Sandra, is there like another app where we can record our stories?
Uh, so to record them, you're saying, or to post to upload to?
To record and post.
To record, the best thing right now, because it's easy to do it on your phone. Does that make sense, right? To edit, on the other hand, like I say, Audacity is free and it's very easy to use. Okay, it's much easier than any of the others as well. Because the thing is that you're not looking for complex editing here. You're looking for clean editing. So start, stop, split out, that type of stuff, right? Okay, and then to host it, if you can host on Spotify, as far as I know, quite for free. My Iona account is linked to Spotify and iTunes. So and because I pay like a very small fee for it every month, right? But the thing is that you're in the S1, it's going to push you to go and create an Iona account. That's what happened last year. And because it's free and it's got everything you need there, I'm just saying to you, it's a great and very comprehensive platform. You might as well start there if you want to. If you feel like you've got enough time to do the bio, that type of stuff, upload it to there. But if not, then upload it to SoundCloud for now. Is that fine?
Uh,
Okay. Again, like I say, Audacity is the simplest um, editing software. I can look. What I can do is I just literally today I recorded me cutting imaging, which is a bit complex, and it's for the third years, right? Using Audition. I can just forward you the link, right, to obviously to the group, so you can just see how working in a piece of software, it's a lot more than what you need to do, right? And it's going to maybe bore you a little bit there, but it's going to show you how I use I use the basics of it, because I want to keep it simple. But using it in a multi, obviously like a multi-track mode where you have to actually use multi-track to edit properly, right? I can share that. Do you both want that? Is that fine? Let's just share the video with you.
Yes.
Okay, I'll share. All right. Okay. Do you have other questions, Katlego, while you're on the line? Okay. All right. You can call again anytime. Okay. All right. I have to hang up then. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, actually, you're not. I'm going to keep you on the line. Just keep you on the line there because I'm not hearing the echo, the feedback. So, okay. In closing, so just in terms of I want to just focus, just put a little bit of focus on the material, like the actual lessons. Any questions with the lessons from either of you find so far? All good? Custos,
I,
yeah, you?
from my side, I'm still okay. I'm still a problem 9 now, I think 9 or 10. So
Okay.
I'm still okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Any other than general questions? Anything else that you'd like to talk about? Uh, Anything that you need some clarity or just want to bounce off? Katleko on your side? Yeah. No, I wouldn't. Record, yeah, record on your phone, take that audio, and then clean edit it on Audacity, then upload to SoundCloud. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. And Christos, anything from you?
No. The marks for the first assignment. How does it work? When are we getting those?
Oh, it should be out long time ago. It really has. So I marked it literally when you submitted. I marked because it was only the three of you. So, won't you just please, because for me, it's futile, right? In terms of this, because it's your marks and your. So, won't you just email Grant and just be like,
Yeah,
can
I'll
you
speak
just
to
have a
Grant.
release on
Okay.
that?
All
Right.
right.
Okay. Because it might be I don't know if it's an admin thing or it's a fee thing or it's a whatever it is. Okay.
Yeah, I see.
All
I'll,
right. Okay.
I'll have a word with him.
All right. At any one point, as you know, as you have also just DM me. We have a chat if you need to.
Yeah,
We set aside some time, and then I'll help. Okay.
fair enough. Thank you. No further questions for me.
All right. Then to the both of you, have a good night, and we'll speak soon. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Okay. Cheers. Bye, Katlego. Bye. 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 Stop it.